Good evening. Those of you that are sitting up top, can you see me okay and hear me okay from up there? Just give me a thumbs up. Perfect. First of all, a huge thank you to all of you for coming out and spending an evening with us tonight to learn about this new initiative. I know May is incredibly busy, especially as we are just a few days away from graduation. This literally was the only evening that we had free, hence why we're here in the arena and not in a building-by-building meeting across the way in the auditorium. My name is Corinne Hayes. I'm the Assistant Superintendent here at Southwest Local Schools, primarily in charge of curriculum and instruction. And tonight, I am so excited to present to you a new initiative that we've got for next school year, which is a one-to-one computing model. This has been a passion project for several of us for so many years. And I'm going to tell you just a brief history of how we got to this point. We've been wanting to go one-to-one K-12 for a very long time. However, financially, it was going to be a pretty big undertaking for us in order to do so. We do have at the secondary schools, at both the junior school and high school, specific departments that have computers in their classrooms for every child, but it's not in every single department in every single building. And so this year, this was our technology curriculum adoption year, and a team of K-12 teachers, plus a group of parents, a school board member, and a wonderful technology team from Hamilton County ESC started talking about the initiative and said, I think we can make this happen. So I would like to introduce those folks to you first. If you are from the technology team here as a parent tonight, please stand up. So Mrs. Tricia Evanson, school board member and parent. Mrs. Jennifer Lurk, parent. Mrs. Mia Neckel, teacher and parent. As well as our Hamilton County staff, Mr. Rusty Stamper from Hamilton County ESC. Mr. Brian Rabe, our treasurer, Mr. Roger McGregor, our assistant treasurer, and then our administrative team, Mr. Christian Tracy, junior school principal, and introducing to you tonight, brand new for the first time, Mr. Matt Lindley, the new high school principal. So when we first started planning our one-to-one adoption, we were looking at only grades 6 through 12. How can we get devices in the hands of our students in grades 6 through 12 to ensure that they were going to have the same experiences that students in other schools were having and prepare them for college and career? Once we started looking at device prices, and once we took stock of the inventory we currently had for functioning devices in our 6 through 12 buildings already, we realized pretty quickly that we were going to be able to go one-to-one K through 12. How we're accomplishing that, through our technology curriculum adoption, we are going to purchase 2,555 laptops. These are the student devices hopefully you had a chance to see when you were out front. They are yoga devices, which means that they will fold completely over. So students can use them as both a tablet as well as a laptop. Now, 2,555 devices sounds like it's a pretty costly endeavor for the district. The way that we are going to be able to afford this technology curriculum adoption, one, every single school year, a particular subject area goes through revision. In the past 5 years, we've made a purchase of technology, computer carts, for those individual departments. Now we're not going to have to do that because the students are going to have their own devices. So those future dollars that were allocated for technology were put into this particular purchase. We leased for 3 years these devices for student use. And then at the end of this 3 years, these devices are going to move down to the elementaries, and we're going to get an additional set of machines for grades 6 through 12. So if you are the parent of a 5th grader, your child will probably have 2 different devices through the course of the remainder of their school years here, okay? So that's just a little bit about how we got to where we are. What you are going to see in regards to student fees, there is going to be a $30 increase in your technology student fee, and that is the only cost that parents will see for this adoption. That $30 fee covers a protective snap-on case that will go on the student device, as well as insurance on that device, so that in the event something happens to it, they bring it into the Media Center coordinator. The Media Center coordinator gives them a replacement device. We send the device out to be repaired, and then when the original device gets fixed, we'll notify the student, your device is ready to be picked up, you swap out the loaner device, and you get yours back. Okay, so that's what that $30 fee covers. It's maintenance of the device plus the protective cover for it. Okay. You should have all received a duplicate copy device usage agreement. Does everyone have one? Okay, let's take a minute and go through this. This is probably the most important document that I want to make sure everybody has very clear understanding of before we leave tonight. So what we need to remember, especially for all the students in the room, this device is property of Southwest Local Schools. So just like when you're issued a textbook, you need to make sure that you are taking proper care of the device. When these get rolled out on open house night, I'm going to give you a list of things that you should do to take care of your device, to keep it clean, charged, properly cared for. So because this is property of Southwest Local Schools, all of the filters that are in place here at school are going to be in place on this device for home use as well. So no inappropriate content can be accessed, even if the kid is sitting at Starbucks in Coleraine, because it's going to be on our system, okay? In the event that an administrator says, hey, I need to see your device for some reason or another, the student would be expected to turn that device over to the building principal or the teacher. Second, in the event that something does come through inappropriately, the student needs to take responsibility to immediately let a teacher or a principal know that some communication was either sent or received on the device. Third, this protective cover can be stickered up however you want. You can personalize the device by putting skins on them, whatever else you want to do to it. The device itself, you cannot deface. Okay, we are going to put labels with the student's name on the protective cover, but then after that, if students want to put individual skins so that they know, hey, mine has the big pink Hello Kitty on it, they'll be able to personalize the device however they choose. Fourth, this is a big one. For those of you that are students in the room, listen closely. Your device needs to come to school every single day charged. These have 10-hour battery lives, but if you forget to charge it for 2 days, you're only going to get through about second bell before that device dies. Okay, so please make sure at night you're going to take the responsibility, just like you charge your iPods or your phones, etc., plug your device in. We are viewing this device almost like a textbook. So just as you are expected to bring a textbook to school, you're also expected to bring your device to school. Next, students agree to keep the protective cover on the device at all times. Part of the reason why we were able to do the insurance inexpensively was because of this case, because it does cover the exterior. The glass on this touchscreen is Gorilla Glass, but that does not mean it's indestructible. So if you keep the case on it, it's going to keep it that much more secure. It's also pretty nifty. There are feet at the bottom of this device so that when students are using it to type on, it'll be elevated for them. And finally, at the end of the year, we are going to collect the devices back from the students. We're going to clean them over the summer. We'll do any updates necessary. We'll repair any devices that need to be repaired. And then next school year, the students are going to get back that exact same device. So you need to make sure that you're keeping very good care of it through the year, because you're going to have this for 3 years. Okay? Any questions on the device usage agreement so far? Okay, seeing none, let's go down to the repairs. Southwest Schools is going to cover any manufacturer repair. Lenovo tells us that for every device we buy, for every group of devices, these particular machines have about a 3% failure rate. So just like when you buy a new car, sometimes you get a lemon. So we know that that's going to happen. All of those are going to be handled through the manufacturer warranty, no problem. Any accidental damage, so let's say the student goes to take it out of the backpack, accidentally falls on the floor, and the bottom cover chips. No problem. Bring it in, we'll take care of it. That $30 student fee is going to cover all of your incidentals. What that fee does not cover, let's suppose that you get frustrated with your teacher and throw your device against the wall. I know that would never happen with anybody in this room. However, that would be considered gross negligence, okay? Not covered by our insurance plan. You would be responsible for whatever the cost is to repair the device. Same thing with loss. If the device is lost and we cannot find the device, you would be responsible for the replacement cost for that device. Okay? If by chance it's stolen, so let's say your car gets broken into, the device was sitting in the car, and that got taken, with a police report, we will give you a brand new machine. Okay, and you will not be charged with anything. So those are all the different situations that could happen to this particular machine, what is covered, what is not covered. Do you have any questions on the coverage? Yes? Oh, great question. This keyboard is actually waterproof. Okay? We chose this device for several reasons. One, the flexibility of the Yoga with having both the tablet and laptop is super appealing, especially at the secondary level where students are taking more intricate art classes and computer animated design, etc. Plus, we are a Microsoft district, and so we use OneNote, which will allow the students to get the teacher's notes digitally and then annotate them, either with their fingers by writing on the screens, or if you purchase the additional stylus set, they could write on the device. And so that's one of the nice features. Durability was another huge factor for us. There is military-grade casing all around this device and the Gorilla Glass. So like I said, it's not indestructible, but it is very durable. We actually had one of our tech teams stand on top of a chair and drop it. I don't recommend any of you try that, but the device was completely fine. I really wasn't even supposed to say that out loud, was I, Roger? Roger's down there cringing. So kids, do not try that at home. Any other questions about coverage? Yes? The replacement cost for the full device is $215. So, and again, this was another machine that we looked at. We wanted to be fiscally responsible for the district, but yet find a device that was going to satisfy the needs of our kids, with this being a Windows operating machine. The Windows operating systems are always more expensive than Chrome devices. This can print. You can attach this to your printer at home wirelessly, or if you have a cable you can connect it to, you will be able to print at home. If you go to the library, you'll be able to print at the library. You can print here at school. Plus, the entire Windows operating system is on the computer, including Word, PowerPoint, Excel, OneNote. As soon as the child logs into this device, they're going to start downloading automatically. So they'll have those right there on the desktop. And that brings up another question. Somebody had asked me in the lobby earlier, what if we do not have internet access at home? Two things. One, we are working with Cincinnati Bell to try to extend coverage in this area for those families that do not have Wi-Fi. We know that some of our local churches have also sort of delved into that as well to expand coverage opportunities for our neighborhoods. But another feature of this particular device is that being that the Windows programs are downloaded right to the desktop, students can get their assignments before they leave school. They can work on the desktop and then finish their assignment at home right from the desktop. They won't need internet access. As soon as they come into school the next day, where they do have Wi-Fi, their assignment can be uploaded directly to the cloud and then shared with the teacher or their classmates, whatever they have to do. But having the capability of all of those office tools right on the desktop will be a huge plus for our kids. So they'll be able to work anywhere. Any other questions about coverage? Yes? Absolutely. We will file. We have a school resource officer at both the junior school and high school. Officer Jennifer Coyle covers both buildings. She will do a police report. And actually, our administrative team would be investigating that. We have cameras throughout both buildings. One thing I would recommend, because these backpacks are awesome for protection. They've got the great sleeve. They are a really good size. Kids could put books and their computers in here. However, if there are 2,000 of these in the building, you may want to get it monogrammed or put, like we have black luggage at home, and I have a bright orange pom-pom on it so that when it comes through the turnstile, I can find it right away. You may want to do something like that too, so that your child knows that this is their particular backpack. It's pretty easy to monogram too if you'd like to do that. Same thing with the cases, sticker them up. Make them yours. Personalize them so that you know your device from the other 25 students in your class. Okay, that will help. Yes? Yes? We still have textbooks from prior adoptions that we're using in our classrooms from before. Those will still be there. We will not go entirely digital yet because there is no curriculum yet that covers all of the needs within the Common Core and is able to differentiate for the kids. Technology does a great job of differentiating, but we still have folks who want to have that textbook so they've got something tangible in their hands. It's been a big debate, even among our teachers. There are some that would prefer to go all digital, and there are some that do not want to give up on their textbooks. And so that's the reason. This device is not replacing any textbook that we have. It is supplementing our curriculum and adding to our, enhancing our curriculum. Okay, that's a great question. Yes, sir. Yes, excellent question. Thank you for bringing that up. The gentleman asked, we are adding 2,555 devices to the network. Is the network ready? It is. We have had, right from the beginning, the Hamilton County Cooperative, HCC, has been in. They have surveyed our access points, making sure that we have enough access points. As you all know, we are getting 6 modular classrooms at the junior school that will be installed here any day. Those also are getting wireless access points so that the students will be able to use the devices out there. We only needed to add a total of 3 wireless access points to the high school building in order to support the infrastructure. Junior school will get the additional Wi-Fi access points in the modulars. Other than that, we're ready. And at the elementary levels where the existing devices are going, we had to add a few at the elementary, which Harrison Elementary wiring has been very interesting. What we ended up having to do there is put carts in the library for storage because the classrooms can't handle them. The question was, have we increased the pipeline T1s? This is very technical speak. Yes, we have. 1 gigabit for fiber. Okay. Yes. Yes, the Chromebooks are going to the elementary buildings, and the students and your teachers, the teachers are getting these as well so they can help troubleshoot in case anything comes up with them. Everybody will have these devices. Yep, good question. Yes? Excellent question. So one of the reasons why we wanted to implement these was so that we can control what gets delivered to the kids. So for instance, what grade are you going into? 8th grade, okay. So for 8th grade ELA, for instance, they use a particular program in English language arts that nobody else is using in the district. And so what we're able to do is deliver that content just to 8th grade machines through a system that, again, kind of tech speak, Mr. Stamper is working through with our single sign-on. So while you have a device that you can use at home, you don't have to bring this one home, but we do want you to use it here at school because we will have the curriculum that we're using here at school. Okay? Yes? Yeah. Mhm. Yes. Right, absolutely. And I'm going to bring up the administrators here in just a second to talk about that no cell phone policy that is coming in new. Before we get to that, does anyone else have any other questions regarding the one-to-one? Absolutely, right. Hacking, that's a big deal. We do have, just like on our network at school, we have a tech team, not only here, but also at HCC off-site that monitors everything that comes through our servers. And so know that those devices are protected, but as soon as something happens, we shut it down immediately, and so that we can get it in, get it fixed, whatever needs to be done. But first reaction is we shut the network down. Okay, that's an excellent question. Question up here. Great question. So the young lady asked, what if the power is off in your neighborhood? That does happen from time to time out here. In the event that power is out and you can't charge the device, we will have charging stations at both the junior school and the high school. So that if the students, and the same thing, let's suppose you're working on a very power intensive project all morning long, you can actually go charge your device in the media center, go eat lunch, come back, and it'll be, usually within half an hour, it can go up at 30 to 40%. Okay, so we will have those availabilities for kids. You can charge them in your classrooms. We don't have full charging stations everywhere, but the media centers in both buildings will have 2 carts just for charging. Okay, any other, yes? Absolutely, and the cart's locked. Yep, the media center facilitators they keep the carts locked. Yep, great question. Anything else? Yes. Yep. Anything that's web-based, yes, but things that are downloaded directly to the device, which would be specific programming for the courses, no. Okay, right. Okay, as for, yes? The cases are going to go for cleaning, but you'll get them back. Yeah, you'll get them back exactly as you left them. Okay. One last thing before I turn it over to the administrators, I want to go over rollout with you. We are going to be distributing these devices the night of open house. So for those of you that are 5th grade parents currently, the 6th grade open house, and this is on the optional purchase document. You'll see on the front it says key dates, schedule pickup, device pickup, open house dates. 6th grade is going to be Monday evening, August 7th at 6 p.m. What we will do is we will have, and this will be the case for all the open houses for grades 6 through 12, when you come into the gym, you're going to find a table by alphabet, so A through G will be at one table, H through O at another, etc. You're going to come in with your device usage agreement signed. For those of you that have both parent and child here tonight, if you want to sign the agreement and turn it in, you'll save us a step the night of open house. You're welcome to do so. We get the white, you keep the yellow, okay? For those of you that don't have your child with you tonight, you can do that the night of open house. So you'll come in, you'll get your device usage agreement turned in, you're going to get your brand new laptop, you'll get any additional purchase items. So if you bought the backpack, if you bought the stylus pack, if you bought the extra charger, those will all be in for open house and delivered that night for device rollout. We are also going to ask you to take the device out of the box and to have the student log into the machine. As soon as the student logs into the machine, you will automatically see all the Windows programs start downloading, your PowerPoint, your Word, etc. Go to open house. When you get home on Wi-Fi, it's going to pick up and continue once again. For those of you that don't have Wi-Fi at home, you're welcome to stay until those programs download. And then I want you to test it through the course of the week. Make sure that you have no issues. You can access the internet. Your Microsoft programs are functioning. In the event that there is something wrong with the device, you'll call school immediately so that we can get you a replacement issued before school starts, okay? Our goal is to have every student ready to roll on the first day of school with a functioning device. Yes, sir? If you are out, you'll contact the building principal, junior school or high school? High school. So you can contact the front office or Mr. Lindley. Mr. Lindley, you want to wave up there so they can see you? You can contact, and we'll make arrangements for you to pick it up. We'll be here the 14th and 15th for opening day, for teacher in-service. So we'll make arrangements for you there and make sure that the device is functioning for you. Okay, great question. Yeah. Okay, so the open house dates again, 6th grade will be August 7th, Monday. 7th grade and 8th grade are going to be combined on Tuesday, August 8th. 9th grade is going to be August 10th, which is also the same day as Camp Wildcat. And then 10th, 11th, and 12th grade will be combined on August 9th. All of those open house device rollouts will start at 6 o'clock. We'll take care of all the device issues from 6 to 7, and then your open houses will start at 7 for the building. Okay? Any other questions for me before I turn it over to our administrative staff? Once again, thank you so much. I hope you all are as excited as we are that we're embarking on this adventure of one-to-one computing with our kids. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Hayes. When I first got hired in this district, I remember I was sitting, I had on my resume, excellent at Microsoft Office. And I'm sitting and Mr. Brown hired me. He looked at it, he said, I see here on your resume it says you're good at Microsoft Office. I said, I excel at it. He looked at me, he said, was that an office joke? I said, word. No, we are really excited about this, and I know there's a lot of trepidation. This is a big thing and an exciting thing for our community and our district. No, all of these questions, and these are phenomenal, but us as a team administratively it's extremely important to us that this rollout goes well. We badly want this to be successful, and we are going to use common sense with our students and things like that. So understand that we know not everybody's going to be able to pick up on those days, or we will have kids that first day of school that have not come to open house, and they show up and they say, I'm here, and we say, great, awesome, let's get you set up. And we'll do that in a spirit and a joy that we do in this district to make sure it's a positive experience for every student involved. One thing I want to talk about tonight as an administrative team is something that we've wrestled with and talked about, and something my students will know this. Every quarter we meet at the start of the quarter. And I pull this device out, and students, what do I say? Anybody remember? This can be your what? Best friend or your worst enemy. And it can. I love my iPhone. I spent 2.5 hours at the Apple Store today, and it was a painful experience because my 6- and 9-year-old came to me and said, Pop, I want that. Dad, I want this. It's Apple, so they got nothing because it's too expensive, and I kept my iPhone. But as we go forward and every kid now has one of these devices, that need that we have relied on for so many years of having kids have access to their cell phones throughout their school day and bringing it in so they can use it as an educational tool, with the one-to-one rollout, that need is no longer there in that amount. And I know as families, I have 2 high school seniors this year, I rely heavily on my ability to text message them in and outside of the school day. And as a parent, I love that convenience. But I'll tell you, as a principal, I spend a good amount of my day as well dealing with Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Yik Yak, and all the different social media sites out there that are taking away from our kids' education. The other thing that I struggle with is when I walk in, and we have junior hires that try to get away with it this, more and more, but high school, as you walk into that cafeteria and we talk about social growth, and we have kids sitting on their phones listening to music and not interacting with anybody around them. And so with that in mind, to stay true to what our mission is of not just academic, but as of social growth, we are in the process of reviewing our cell phone policy and having something far more consistent grade 6 through 12. And while we do not have that finalized yet, what we do want to share tonight is as students, if you're a junior school student, it's going to look very similar to what it is now, which is students have their cell phones on their person. We know this. We don't ask them about it. They don't ask us about it. But if they see them out when they're not supposed to have them out, we confiscate them and a parent has to pick them up. Again, we use common sense with this. If you're a third shift parent and you can't get there during our school time, we use some common sense. However, that is pretty much the standard policy of how that goes. The high school, if you walk through the high school right now, you get a lot of this from students in the hallway between bells. Yes, it actually has become a safety issue. When you go out that one-way street at 250 at the end of the day, we have kids not even looking up to cross the street and those types of things. We're going to be modifying and reviewing that high school policy, but it is going to mirror very similar to what the current junior school policy is. And we want to be upfront with that because I know students are devastated. Parents are like, great, that's awesome, until you go to text your kid to say, hey, you got to watch Baby Brother tonight. And so we're going to use some common sense as we review this, but know that that policy change is coming. If you're entering the high school or a high school student and you've enjoyed listening to Roy Orbison or the Beatles, which I'm sure is all you're listening to, and no Tupac, but we're going to get out of that habit of having kids walk around with headphones in all the time and looking at a screen and re-engage each other and teach them that skill of being able to look at each other in the eye, talk to each other, communicate with each other, problem solve together. And so know that that change is coming, and it's not done out of vitriol or anger. It's done because this is what we're about. When we say academic growth and social growth, we have to live what that means. And so that's going to mean a pretty significant change to that policy. So we want to be upfront with parents and our students on that. I know they're very excited. You're welcome, junior hires going to the high school, who thought they were going to have headphones next year. But we are working on that. If you have additional questions tonight, Mr. Lindley's here. Mr. Niehaus is hiding up out top, looking good up there. Mr. Niehaus, thank you for your help tonight. Mrs. Hayes, Mr. Rabe, Mr. McGregor, Rusty, Mr. Stamper will be here. We will stay as long as you have questions and as late as we need to. It is 70 degrees and beautiful outside, so we understand if you leave as well. But we want to... Well, I was going to say goodbye and thank you, good night, but Ms. Hayes has something else. So thank you for coming. I'm going to turn it back over to Ms. Hayes.
Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Tracy. I should have opened with him. He always has a great joke to start. So before you leave tonight, again, if you have both parent and student here with you and you want to turn in your yellow form, we get the white, you keep the yellow, okay? If you're both here and you want to turn those in. Thank you so much for coming and spending time with us. If you have additional questions, come on down and we'll answer them. Thank you all.